We're going to talk about hard water deposits that build up around faucets. First, we're going to review a couple techniques and methods we use to remove hard water deposits that form around faucets. And then we're going to introduce a new technique that we can use on a nightly basis that just takes a few seconds that will prevent deposits from ever building up around our faucets. But first, let's quickly review the techniques that we currently use to remove deposits from around faucets. There's two chemicals that we use for this. The safest one is the cream cleanser. So this would be the product you would use first to see if you could get the deposits removed, and you would use it in conjunction with a detail brush. So the first thing you would do is you would take your cream cleanser and you would put a dab of that in your sink. The reason why we put it in the sink is because when we're done, it's easy to rinse down whatever chemical we haven't used down the drain. From there, we take our detail brush, much like a painter would use a brush, and we dab some of the cream cleanser on our brush. And then we use that to scrub the area where the hard water deposits are around the faucet. We do the front, the sides, and also on the back. And we continue scrubbing until we've removed the deposits. Next step will be, after we're confident that we've removed the deposits, we've broken them all down and separated them from our faucet, we now have to flush the area with water. In a sense, we have to rinse it. We want to wash out all that chemical away from the faucet itself, so that we can then remove it like we normally would clean the sink with our rag. And then we could finish up with some scrubby bubbles to finish up the cleaning of the sink. Now, if the deposits are really heavy, sometimes this product will not get them, remove all of them. So in that case, we want to move up to the Faucet 20. This is designed for use when we have real heavy deposits around the faucet. And we would use it the same way we use a cream cleanser. We'd put a dab in our sink, and then we would take our brush and dab some, and we would scrub around the faucet just like we did with the cream cleanser. Now, the big difference is that you want to be really thorough in flushing this chemical away from the faucet, because if you leave any of this chemical behind, it can attack the finish of the faucet and actually eat away at it, turning the faucet stainless steel green, and we don't want that to happen. So you want to be really thorough in flushing this out with water before you wipe it clean. That brings us to preventative maintenance. I've come up with a way that we can prevent deposits from accumulating around faucets by just taking a few seconds each night and using our detail brush. Now, typically what we do when we clean sinks, we use this product, Scrubbing Bubbles. We'll spray down the sink and then we'll wipe it clean with a rag. What I'm going to introduce to you is the use of the detail brush in this process to help us prevent deposits from building up. So what we're going to do is, after we spray our sink down with our Scrubbing Bubbles, the first thing we're going to do before we wipe the sink clean is we're going to scrub this area where deposits normally build up with our detail brush. Just very lightly scrub, only takes a couple seconds. And then we're going to go ahead and clean the sink like we normally do. With our rag, we're going to wipe it clean. Now, this technique, using a detail brush, only added a few seconds to the process of our cleaning our sinks. And yet, if we do this on a nightly basis, it will prevent deposits from ever accumulating around our faucets. So let's all start using this technique. If you don't have a detail brush like this, please let me know and I will get you one, because this is the best detail brush I have ever found. So let's start applying this technique when we clean our sinks, and let's forever put an end to deposits building up around our faucets.